Welcome to my channel where we discuss all things and everything politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election. And as I keep saying, the presidential election is the most important of all the elections. Today, I want us to look at the Arise News Presidential Town Hall Series debate, which was held on Sunday, December 4th. And to tell you my verdict of the debate. And before I do that, I want to look at some of the takeaways I got from it, which will form the basis of my assessment of the performance of the presidential candidates. And of course, as many of you already know, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, he chickened out and traveled, or so they said, that he traveled for another engagement at Chatham House in UK. Whatever may be the case, the choice is that of Nigerians to decide whether what they want in 2023 is to elect a monarch or they want to elect a democratic president. Because as what Bola Tinubu has already shown, a sense of entitlement as a monarchical leader, that it is his turn to ascend the throne. That's why he treats Nigerians with disdain. So he don't want to be interrogated. He has to be evaluated based in his own terms. This is the only recruitment process in the world where employee determines how he's going to be interviewed and assessed for a job. But the choice is that of Nigerians. If they want to reward arrogancy, they want to reward tyrannical rule, they want to reward those who treat them like shit, they can go ahead and vote for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. But I know that Nigerians are reasonable people. They are taking note of what Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is doing, treating them with disdain even before he could be elected president. You can imagine what he will do if he becomes president. The whole of Nigeria will be catching fire. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu will not send anybody, because after all, he didn't beg you for the job. He shows you all the signs that he's not ready to serve, that he don't want to be a servant leader. And yet, because of ethnicity and religious bigotry, you still put him there. And we know that Nigerians are reasonable people. They will not allow that to happen. But that's by the way. And before I go further on this assessment of the debate, if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, the Arise News Town Hall Series debate. There were so many questions, but there are a few that I'm going to talk of and how the questions were answered, which I will share with you before I give you my verdict on them, on the whole thing. Now, one of the questions that was asked by the partners of Arise News, which include some traditional media houses like Leadership Newspaper, like Vanguard, Punch Newspaper, and so on, and the Sun. on the issue of health, when they were discussing the health sector, they were asked whether, first of all, before I forget, the three front runners that attended the interview since the debate, since Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was absent, include the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, presidential candidate of New Nigeria People's Party, and NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso. So they were asked whether they can make their, or whether they think that anybody who wants to be president, if any of them is to be elected president, is he ready to make his health status public, and are they ready to accept to be treated in Nigerian hospital facilities without going abroad? Atiku Abubakar was forced to answer. He was asked, and Atiku Abubakar said that agreed that he is ready to, if he's asked to make his health status public or known, that he will do it. But when it comes to issue of utilizing local health facilities instead of going abroad, Atiku said that he cannot guarantee that because his own health challenge cannot be handled at home. He was very clear about it. He said his whole health challenges cannot be met at home because there is a lot of challenges in the health sector. You know, he said that what he needs to take care of his health is not available at home, that there is a limitation to what is available to treat his own health if you want to treat it. So that was very clear. He made it clear to Nigerians, obviously, that he will go abroad for his health treatment because what the hospitals in Nigeria cannot be able to treat him. And the same question was asked to Rabiu Kwankwaso of NNPP. And Kwankwaso said that he will show example, but leadership by example, that he will utilize the available facilities in the country, and that he is also ready to make his health status public. He said that he has got his last medical checkup that he went, that one of the people that examined him told him that, perhaps he meant it on a lighter mode, that he can guarantee him 30 more years, but Peter Obi himself, when he was going to the turn of Peter Obi said that it was necessary for public officers to make their health status public. Those who seek public offices, that they should make their health status public. And then he now began to talk about utilization of local facilities. He said that when he was governor of Anambra State, he improved the health facilities in Anambra State and that he uses them regularly. And up till now, he uses them. However, if there is anybody if there was any need to go to treat somebody abroad, that he would not be against it, as long as the health facilities in Nigeria made a reference to the foreign hospital because they cannot handle it here in Nigeria. So he can't stop that, noting that all over the world, things like that are done. People get referred from one hospital to the other. Okay, he cannot stop that, but basically he is somebody who has very has high hope, and he believes in Nigerian medical health facilities, and that he has utilized them, and he will continue to utilize them. And he confessed that Nigerian health medical officials are very good, and that he has been using them right here in Nigeria. Okay, so he showed that he improved health services in Anambra State, improved the hospital facilities in Anambra State, and those hospital facilities are still very functional, which he is now using also. Anytime he wants to use health facilities in the country, he uses it. But he does not preclude the fact that if these hospitals that he uses at the local level, for any reason, refers going abroad, he's not against anybody going abroad to treat it. But definitely, he showed that he has confidence in Nigerian health services. Then the issue arose about what to do about doctors who are leaving the country in search of greener pastures, and what to do to bring them back so that they come and contribute to the health services needs of Nigeria. And Atiku Abubakar said that, well, and also there was also a question about how to make health services accessible to all Nigerians. Atiku Abubakar said that the PDP government set up the National Health Insurance Scheme that is supposed to be accessible to all Nigerians. He said that the solution is to find out what is the real problem that made this health insurance scheme not to be accessible to all Nigerians, and what can be done about it to resuscitate them. And Kwankwaso also agreed that there is a need for health insurance, especially because we are living in a Nigeria where half the population cannot feed themselves. So it is, how can they take care of their health if there is no health insurance? And on the brain drain, he said that he, even as governor of Kano State, he encouraged the training of health officials and all that, training them so that they can be employable at home and abroad, so that they will be of use locally and internationally. And revealed that they in some of those training schools, they train them on some foreign languages so that they can fit in abroad. But Obi said that he will be able to turn the brain drain to brain gain, the way the Indians have done. He said, and how can do this to have massive training of health workers? Because if you have a massive training of health workers, those who will stay. Those who will leave the country will leave the country. But at the end of the day, the country will benefit. Okay, the country will benefit. It's not a question of saying you stop people from going abroad after they are trained. No, say as they go, some are more are being trained. You talk about the fact that there should be training for health officials. The nursing training institutions should be established in every local government so that we have more nurses that are trained all over the country, so that we have a large pool of health workers that can be utilized at home and abroad. And he gave an example of India, how India used to be notorious for sending its doctors and abroad, and many of them are still dominating the UK health services today. But now there is what is called the brain gain. Many of these Indian doctors are now investing at home. Many have returned back to India to contribute to the development of their country. And then he now said Peter Obi is the person that actually made reference to the funding problem in Nigeria. He noted that in the last 6 years, the amount of money Nigeria has budgeted for the health sector in the whole 6 years is less than what South Africa, the second largest economy in Africa. Don't forget, Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa. Nigeria budgeted for education in 6 years is less than what South Africa budgeted for a year. So it shows the gap, and he promised that he will increase the health budgeting to 10% of the annual budget. Total annual budget will be devoted to the health, and he said that he will ensure that it is it's an investment that is properly managed. And he now talk about the fact that this health area and the education are the areas that actually need subsidy and not the petroleum sector. And he said that he is going to follow the model that have been done by India, Indonesia, and other countries. When it comes to human capital development, they ask what they are going to do about human capital development so that they can Nigeria can have a pool of human capital that can compete internationally and contribute to the development of the country. Atiku said that the human capital is driven by a number of factors, but basically centers around education, information communication technology, and other aspects of education. So he said that there will be more funding. There will be funding for this set of educational issues or sectors, so that education in general will contribute to the development of the human capital. So that's what he said. Kwankwaso said, used the opportunity to enumerate that the country has been good to him. Obviously, he was trying to say that he had almost free. I think he want to say that he had free education from primary to university level up to the level of having a PhD. So that was why he invested a lot in education, ensuring that there are free education in from primary to secondary in Kano State. Okay, talk about that. But Peter Obi was the person that in answering the question made it clear that human capital development encompasses there's a nexus between health and education in terms of human capital. He said the health and education are the sectors that drives human capital development. Because if you cannot improve health and education, there is no way you can improve human capital, and there's no way you can eradicate poverty. Because he was saying that if he is to borrow money, it has to be more that will be invested in things like education and health, because these are the areas that will help the economy to grow. The Human Development Index. He said that if he had time, because they were limited to 2 minutes, he said if he had time, he would have shown how to move Nigeria's Human Development Index from low to medium to high, the way the Chinese, the Indians, and the Vietnamese were able to do it successfully and pull millions of people out of poverty from among their people. So he was basically saying that he will use uh, the model that China, India, and Vietnam he did. And he emphasized that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If somebody has done it before, you can learn from how he did it. You don't have to start afresh, which is actually very correct. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If somebody has done it and is successful, you learn from the person, and you can also be successful like him. And then there was this issue they were asked about the federal government's claim that states are responsible for the poverty in the country. And they were asked, what do they think of it, especially vis-a-vis the issue of local government funding and state funding and all that. And Atiku and Kwankwaso. Atiku in particular talked about the fact that the local government funding was actually hijacked by the state governors, and saying that during the time of PDP, initially they wanted money of local government to be going directly to the local government, but the governors came up with a constitutional objection, showing where it is in the constitution that there should be a kind of collaboration between state and local government, or joint local government account. And since that time, uh, the local governments have reached to the point now where they don't receive anything again. While Kwankwaso said that when he was governor, he was able to manage the local government and state funds, and they work in synergy to ensure that both local government and the states were able to perform amicably well. So that's the way it is. But he also admitted that there is a need for a constitutional review to see where there is a lacuna to solve the problem that has made local government to totally be penniless now. All their monies are being controlled by the governors, which the federal government referred to also. But Peter Obi was the person that actually said that the problem of poverty in Nigeria cannot be blamed on local government, because there are many instruments of the state that are handled by federal that is responsible for the poverty. For example, he talked about the issue of insecurity. Security is in the hand of the federal government. Now, if farmers in the local communities are not able to go to their farms, if businesses cannot be able to do their businesses because of insecurity, you cannot blame that, the poverty that is the result of this situation, on the states. That has to rest squarely on the federal government. Of course, federal government also plays role in key sectors of health and education. Now, in the health sector, the federal government is not doing much. It's not funding it adequately. The federal government is not doing much about the over 20 million Nigerians that are out of school. Okay, federal government need to do more on that. The more people are out of school, the more you create environment for poverty. Now you cannot blame state for all that. So federal government should be blamed a lot more in terms of the increase in poverty in the country, and that is not true that the states are to be held responsible for that. Okay, and then Peter Obi talk about the fact that if he's elected president, he will ensure security to make sure that Nigerians have a safe environment to fulfill their potentials, grow the economy, and all that. Now, another question that was posed was how to reduce the budget deficit. In this question, Atiku Abubakar said that one of the ways he will reduce deficit, because there's a huge deficit in the country, which an incoming president will inherit. Atiku Abubakar said that he will cut the cost and wastages and reduce the subsidy on petroleum. Okay, and then handle the issue of multiple exchange. In fact, the way Atiku Abubakar answered this question told me without doubt that he must have studied several places where P2B gave this particular answer. Okay, and yeah, even as I was watching it, I was telling myself P2B was wondering what's going on. This man must have studied what I've been saying for some time now, because there are many debates and where P2B gave this kind of answers, and the answer, the response that Peter Obi gave alluded to what I was saying, what I'm saying to you right now. So when they now got to the Kwankwaso, Kwankwaso said that Kwankwaso didn't really talk about how he's going to reduce the budget deficit of the federal government. But what he was talking about that when he was governor of Kano State, that uh, the allocation for capital expenditure was 30%, and recurrent expenditure was 70%. So he reversed it in 2 years of his administration, so that capital expenditure becomes 70 and current expenditure become recurrent expenditure become 30%. But basically, that's not what the question is talking about. The budget deficit. The budget deficit. Budget deficit is different from what was actually talking about. What he's talking about, what Kwankwaso is basically talking about is that he made more emphasis on on the what do you call it? That's capital expenditure. That he increased capital expenditure. That's in terms of construction of roads, infrastructure, and all that. But that's not basically what the budget deficit of federal government that the incoming president is going to inherit. Okay, we're talking about deficit to the level that uh, you spend more than what you are supposed to spend for a particular budget year. Your budget used to shut up more than what you can handle, leading to you borrowing excess to be able to meet up. Okay, your budget does not balance. We're talking about how to have a balanced budget without borrowing, without having issues with payment of your debts and all that. A balanced budget. So how are you going to have a balanced budget? Because Nigeria is having a huge deficit. And P2B was, when it goes to P2B himself, P2B dealt with it very well, as expected, because I know that it's a subject that he understands very well. And he said that one of the things he will do is he will try to manage the huge debts of the country very well, makes it manageable, uh, deal with the multi exchange rates and the cut cost of governance, and if he is to borrow money, he will borrow for investment. And then he said that he will create, there will be increase in productivity, increase in productivity, thereby it creates more jobs. And as people get job, they become productive. They can now be taxed. So with more money that is gotten from taxation, there is now more income. This will help in reducing the debt of the country. So you can see that P2B has a workable plan on what to do to tackle the budget deficit. And in the final analysis, if you watch the whole thing, and I will try and put the link for those who have not yet watched the Arise News Town Hall series debate. I'll put the link down this video so that you watch it. There's no doubt about it. You will discover, as has become the tradition, that P2B is the most prepared, most engaging, the most articulate, the one who understands the solution to the problems of Nigeria 2023 onwards. So he is the one that I can tell you for free won in the debate. And it may surprise you, but Atiku Abubakar defeated Kwankwaso in that debate, because Kwankwaso was always talking about what he did in Kano. Sometimes so many of those things he was talking about does not rhyme with the question he was being asked. Okay, so in all, Atiku tried, and Atiku came second, P2B came first. He won the debate hands down. Atiku came second, and in fact, you know, There's something, the way Atiku was relaxed in answering the questions, uh, even though he wasn't as good as Peter Obi, uh, gave me the impression that, well, let me not say it here. I don't have to say it in public. Uh, my the things I imagined happened that made him so relaxed. But whatever may be the case, Peter Obi was still able to outshine him with facts and figures how he can be able to do this thing. Whereas Atiku Abubakar was always talking about what PDP did, what PDP did, what PDP did. Everyone they asked me to talk about what PDP did, how PDP does it, how PDP started this or that. It got to the point where Kwankwaso even have to remind him, say, Oga, please, you are talking of this PDP, did this PDP. Were you not the one that led us out of PDP between 2014 and 2015? That PDP was bad. So why are you now, everything else about PDP is good? You know, it was one interesting exchange that I took away from that debate. So basically, that's my take on this. And I believe that without a shadow of a doubt, that Peter Obi won this debate. He is the most articulate. He is the most engaging. He is the one with solutions to the problems. So he has solutions, solvable solutions that you can really pinpoint where he is going and how he's going to do it. Okay? So that is my take on this. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because the more you like it, the more people like it, the more people will see it, and as more people sees it, the more they will help this video achieve the purpose, which is actually to make Nigerians make the right choice in 2023. Thank you and God bless you.